Okay, so this session is called Using Canva to Engage Students. I would like to make sure that we're all clear that this is Canva and not Canvas. It's two separate things. I know that when I first got introduced to Canva, I was like, why do they keep calling Canvas Canva? Like, I was really confused because they're so similar. But this is completely different than Canvas. Canvas is our LMS platform for student learning and academics. Canva is creating graphics and presentations, et cetera, et cetera. So two separate things, okay? So we are gonna go ahead and get started. So I've got a small itty bitty presentation, and then we're going to launch into actually creating things and setting up our accounts with Canva so you can use it throughout this year. Okie dokie. There's a couple more people in the waiting room, so just give me 1 second. All right, so using Canva to engage students. So first of all, what is Canva? So like I was saying a second ago, Canva is an online tool that is allowing you to design, photo edit, and basically create any kind of project that you might want in your classroom or that you want your students to create. And in this day and age, it's very, very important that our students are actually the ones that are creating the work and not so much us. And so this is a really cool tool for kids to use as well. I'm actually about to start using it for classroom posters because mine are super outdated and they've just got to go. My kids make fun of me all the time for them because of the stuff that I have on my wall. They're just like, you don't even make us do that. And I'm like, you're right, I don't. So I've got to update them, and I think I'm going to use Canva to do that. So Canva is a free version, but like a lot of platforms, they offer a paid version as well. And so you get a few more tools. But honestly, from what I've seen with Canva, you really don't need to pay for anything. The free version is perfect. Like, I mean, the free version, they give you a lot of stuff to use. It's almost overwhelming to go in there and see what all is available for you to use, and that's also free. And we'll look at that soon. All right, so, oh, my computer mouse just quit working. All right, so how can you use Canva in the classroom? So Canva in the classroom, I don't know if some of you like to storyboard. I had actually never heard of that until my specialist degree that I'm about to finish tomorrow. For gaming classes that we had to do, like we had to actually storyboard how we created it. And it's basically just you're digitizing your thought process essentially, which is kind of cool. But Canva allows you to storyboard. You can create classroom presentations. In fact, this entire presentation that I'm doing right now, I created on Canva. So not PowerPoint, not anything. And it took me all of about, I don't know, 20 minutes last night. So you can also create lesson plans. You can create engaging assignments. You can mind map, which I found out last night. So in the time frame that I last used Canva and currently, it now has the mind mapping stuff that I do in my classroom on there as a feature, which is super cool. You can create graphics for your Canvas classroom. So online, you can create your graphics for it, super cool as well. You can create classroom or school newsletters if you do that at your school or in your classroom. You can create the newsletters 100% on here. You can collab with your students, or they can collab with each other on assignments. And you can have educational infographics for your classroom as well. Okay, so a lot of stuff. Also, this is just a small snippet of what you can do. Like, this was all that I wanted to fit onto a slide. When we log in and actually look, you're gonna be like, oh my gosh, like there's so much stuff. Yes, that also is true. I forgot about that. If you have a teacher account, you can also sign up for the pro version. It just asks you to verify your email. Thank you for reminding me about that. All right, so the next thing is you can create posters, which I created one last night. This is a little basic one, just to see what I wanted to do with it. We have a CTAE guy here that prints all of our posters and rules and big stuff that we put on the walls, and I'm gonna get him to print mine out. But there's plenty of templates online for you to use, and you can just edit it. If you're really creative, you can create it from scratch. I prefer, like I said in my first session today, I prefer to work less and not more. So I always use the templates and just make them work for me. My friend, Miss Jordan at Oak Hill Elementary, created these graphics for her Canvas classroom. So if you are using graphics from the internet, or you think that your graphics are outdated, you can use really cool editing tools in Canva to create graphics for your Canvas classroom. As you can see, this is super cute. She did a really good job on this. And then you can also, nope, why did that do that? Weird. All right, so with this as well, you can create infographics. Also, my friend, Miss Jordan, created these for her art classroom. My graphics that I used were used on Google and Pictochart. I plan on using Canva this year. So she already had this stuff and she let me borrow it for my presentation, so I didn't have to create anything brand new last night. So she did this to push out to her kids. As you can see, it's very, very easy to read. It's very easy to follow. A lot of the same information that she would have taught in class and that she could have put in a boring presentation, she just put it right onto an infographic, and she can post this in her wall, like on her wall in her room, whatever the case may be, she can do that. All right, so those were just small snippets of what we could do. Let's go ahead and dive into actually creating something, whatever you want to create. We're going to look into that. But like I said, if you're easily overwhelmed with a lot of choices, this is going to overwhelm you a little bit. Okay, there's so much to do in here, but it's awesome at the same time, because really honestly, once you get the hang of it, you don't ever have to leave Canva. You can just create everything in here and then put it wherever you want it to go, whether that be online, in your classroom, to your students, whatever the case may be. You can just do it all in one platform, which is kind of helpful. Okay, so I need everyone to go to canva.com. Okay, so I'm going to put that in the chat. It is canva.com. When it asks you to sign up, we're going to go ahead and do it under our, you can either do it under your teacher Google login. It may ask you for a Microsoft login. I'm not sure, but I just did it with Google for me. So you can do it through Google. And when you do it through Google, if you want the free version of it, the free pro version, make sure you sign up with your teacher login, which for those of you that are new, that is just going to be your school email, last name dot first name at Newton .k12.ga.us. Use that one, and it will recognize you as an educator, and it'll give you the pro version for free. And once y'all have gotten that going, if y'all can just give me a thumbs up, let me know in the chat that you're ready. So again, we are using our school Google account, which is your last name dot first name at newton.k12.ga.us. You're going to use your school login password, whatever that may be. If you're brand new, I think they gave you like a generic one. And then we're going to go in from there. Thank you, Ms. Abraham. So for those of you that are logging in with your educator account, Super great. I'm just going to go ahead and let you know that I was on my personal Canva account last night on my personal computer, and so I am signed into my not pro version. So if mine looks a little different than yours, that's why, because I'm logged into my personal in order to get to my presentation that I made. All right, there's a bunch of you that are getting ready. Let me know that you're ready. If you are ready, go ahead and let me know so I know when I can move on. Once the majority of you are ready, I'm going to launch into this. Yes.
Question.
Yes, ma'am.
So I do use Canva personally, but of course I want to be able to get all the tools and stuff on the Pro. So
Yes,
when I
ma'am.
did sign up, I did use my email address for school, but it still is showing. I don't know how it did it, but it's showing my personal platform or dashboard.
Can you tell a difference in it? Why did you verify?
Yeah, I could tell the difference because the work that I created on my personal dashboard the other night is showing up on this one.
Okay, so it did link up. So it just synced.
Yeah, that's what
Okay,
it seems
perfect.
like.
So it should, like, if it looks a little different to you, it probably synced up. And so if you verified your education, like that you're an educator, you put your email address, then it's probably fine.
Okay.
And also when you were talking about the Canva Pro, I have a tab to say get Canva Pro, but it's saying like get 50% off. So am I already under Canva Pro?
Hold on, let me see if I can log into mine just to see if it's any different. Hold on. Okay, so see, mine says try Canva Pro, and I'm under my teacher. So, it may not be the actual pro version. It may be that you as an educator get a little bit more stuff. I'm gonna need to look at that. But when you're an educator, like when you signed up, there should be something that told you on the side. And I remember because I just did it just a few minutes ago before this session started. It tells you that as an educator, you get more tools and more things as an educator. So I'm not sure if it's like a step below pro or right at pro. Clearly it's not pro because it says try Canva Pro for free. But it might just be a step between the free version and the pro version.
So it's not the pro version we get as educators, the little icons and stuff where you get to choose what you want to use. It says EDU beside it. So it's like a different step.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much for clarifying.
You're welcome.
Awesome. So not pro, it's just the educator version. But again, when I tell you this, like I'm just going to tell you, like last night I created all that presentation and plus some other things for my classes with the free version on my Mac, and you get so much stuff already. Like you don't need the pro version. I'm just going to go ahead and throw that out there. You don't need the pro version. So couple things. It starts off very similar to Google in terms of it gives you a lot of templates, okay? The difference between Canva and Google, however, is that this has thousands of templates. Like you could spend hours just searching the templates on this thing, like, and never even touch half of them. Like, I mean, it's so, like, there's so many templates, okay? So First of all, you need to decide, what are you using this for? Are you going to use it for a classroom presentation? Do you want to create some posters? Do you want to create some graphics? What do you want to use it for? And that's going to kind of like narrow down the searching within this platform. Like I said, I used my presentation that I just showed y'all on Canva. And there was a lot of things to offer. Now, what's really cool too about the presentations is that you can create graphics within Canva and then import those graphics into your presentation. Like I did a mind mapping thing where it said, how can you use this in the classroom? That was a mind mapping thing. And I just did that one separately from my presentation, and then I imported it into the presentation. So there's a lot of things you can do with your presentations that you can't necessarily do with PowerPoint. Just throwing that out there. So let me see. Does anybody want to give me something for us to create? Let's just do a infographic. So let's search for infographics. Right there. All right. So once you find what you want to use it for, as you can see, there's so many templates here as well. You can choose education. You can do timeline. There's so much to choose from. It's overwhelming for me just to look at, just to figure out an example for you to use. Going back to the templates, let's go to see all. The thing too about some of these infographics is that some teachers, me specifically, want to use short things. Like I want to use like a short infographic. And as you can see on some of these, they're super long. Like they just keep going and going and going, which makes it more ideal for online, like posting these online. So a kid can scroll or zoom in and see what it is versus trying to print that out and put it on your wall. So just an idea or just something to keep in mind as well. Then I don't like any of these. Well, all right, so this one I think is what my friend Miss Jordan, the template that she used for one of her art things that I used in my presentation. But as you can see, it's very nicely designed. So if you're comparing and contrasting one or two things, you can literally just put it right here. So I don't know, let's do DNA versus RNA. I'm a science teacher, so that's just easy for me. So when we're comparing DNA and RNA, I want my kids to be able to just to see that really quick, look at it, be able to tell the difference and keep it moving. Okay, so I don't want to have a whole lot of information put onto this graphic. I want it to just be short and sweet, straight to the point. Okay, so when you are creating your graphics, you need to be really conscious about how you're designing it and what you're putting on there, because obviously you don't want to overwhelm them with too much stuff. Okay, and as you can see, some of these infographics has a ton of stuff like this. This one has a lot. It just depends on the content that you're doing. So for me, it might be better right now for one of you to give me an example, or if you've already started working on something, you could tell me what you're working on or show me what you're working on, and we could go from there. The thing with Canva, like I said, it's literally, you just have to know what you want to create and then figure it out from there. It's going to be different for everybody. what my graphic in a science classroom might be different than what my colleagues' graphic in a science classroom might look like. It's really just up to your creativity at that point. When you go into presentations, which I think honestly I'm going to be using a whole lot because these were super easy. Like I preferred this over PowerPoint or Google Slides, and I'm like a Google person. So if you notice in these presentations, you can do it on a computer. You can do it as a talking presentation with your face in there. You can design it for cell phones specifically. So if you know that, like this would have been great last year, a lot of our kids were on phones 90% of the time on our Zooms or trying to log into our classes. A presentation could have been designed specifically for mobile use, and it wouldn't have been all crazy formatted. You can do it formatted to tablets. So if you know that like the Chromebooks or the iPads or whatever, you know, sometimes those format differently depending on what kind of screen they have. You can format it that as well. Okay. So there's a lot of different kind of presentations that they allow you to edit here. So that's super nice that they give you that flexibility. Also, what else they've got? You can create graphs in here like you can with Google or PowerPoints. You can put them there. If you're into, I know a lot of our art teachers that have been here, they like making their desktop really pretty in the background. You can do desktop wallpaper there. Will it automatically fit to the screen for various devices? So when you're doing the presentation, you can actually look at different size screens to see how it looks, to see if you like it or not. But if you know that you are specifically doing it for phones or specifically doing it for tablets, I would recommend doing like one of the presentation templates that are formatted for that specifically. But we shouldn't really have a whole issue with phones anymore, I don't think, since we're all one-to-one now and they're all going to be in the classroom for the most part. So here's the mind map that I was talking about for those of you that like doing that in the classroom. The mind maps, oh, thank you. You can do a custom design and give it the dimensions you need, which would be, you would need to not do a template for that. So with this was what I was playing with last night, which is super cool. And I can tell that I'm probably going to use it in my classroom a whole lot. You can mind map certain content. That's not really what I needed, but you can see that a lot of this you can format specifically to what you need for your classroom. And this is way more engaging than, I don't know, I know that this is going to be more engaging for my classroom than trying to put up a piece of paper somewhere, hope it doesn't fall down, moving it different places. I can just throw this up onto my board, have the kids come up and write on the board, and then we can turn it into text at a different time to make it work. And then these graphics can be downloaded down here. Like you have all of these options. You can embed it into your Canvas classroom. You can embed it onto your Google site if that's what you plan to do. You can put it literally wherever you want to as an image, and it'll tell you if it won't let you. Like it'll tell you if you have to have Canva Pro, which is not a whole lot of those options. Most of this you can just download as a video or a JPEG, which is essentially what all you need.